Woohoo! So it looks like it worked. This is my first YouTube live, so okay. Just gonna get myself situated here. Oops. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like we are live and rolling on YouTube, which is great. Let me see if I can adjust this lighting a bit so you can see me a little better. Hi. Okay, so welcome everybody. I am back. I'm trying to see if I can get this widescreen. There we go. Okay, welcome back. It is week number 2 of my Gut Goodies 10-week series. So say hi as you're coming on. I'd love to see who's with me, either live or on the replay. And my light keeps going away. There we go. And yeah, I'd love to just see where everybody's at after the first week. Last week we talked about self-love on Valentine's Day. And so I just wanted to check in with everybody and see how that was for you. Did you notice anything as you went about the weekend? Find yourself maybe taking a little extra care of yourself in different ways, maybe starting to notice your mindset change. Anything that came up for you and you'd be enticed to share, I'd love to hear it. So self-love, we talked about our mental state and changing maybe the words we use in our mind and really listening to our body and seeing where our emotions are held in our body, and really just focusing on ourselves, on our self-love from the inside out. So if anybody, again, has any experience they'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. And tag anybody that you feel would benefit from the continuation of this 10-week series. We're talking all about the gut and how our habits affect our gut health, which in turn affect our whole body health. And we're talking whole body from not just our outer, our head to our toes, but our inner, from our mind all the way through our body. So today we're talking about self-love's sister, self-care. And self-care is kind of a very broad word, right? Like it is very widespread as to what self-care really means. But self-care is really just about finding the thing that you love as an individual and making more time for it in your day-to-day habits. And when we think of self-care in the way of a habit, what do you do on the daily that really helps you as an individual find peace, find relaxation, find calmness? And that can be anything from, going to a spa and having a spa day, or a facial, or, foot massage, getting a massage. So anything physical like that, to just sitting on the couch, watching your favorite TV show, anything that brings you love and joy and calmness, that is self-care. So self-care is really individualized. My self-care isn't going to be the same as your self-care. Maybe you love going to the spa and getting a facial, getting a foot massage, really having like a pamper kind of self-care. Whereas for me, I find my self-care in sometimes like movement, stretching, dance, walking my dogs is really relaxing for me. Going to the beach. So why are these things important? Why is self-care so important to our health? Well, for one, it's kind of like self-love, right? Like we talked about how they go hand in hand. So when we love ourselves from the inside out, and then we care for ourselves from the inside out, we're creating this parasympathetic response in our body, which makes it super calm, super relaxed, and our body can digest when we're in that relaxed state. So if our body's relaxed and our mind is relaxed and we're filling our cup, so to speak, and, providing for ourselves first, that's why it's called self-love and not, your love or your care. It's my care. It's self-care, self-love. So when we do those things for ourselves and we create this environment of calm, peace, relaxation within our body responds in the most amazing ways. We're able to digest our food. We're able to sleep soundly. And, when we have this attitude of gratitude, so to speak, with doing what we love and finding the love and the care in ourselves, then we can just spread it to everybody else, and it's helpful because we know we're taken care of. So once we're taken care of, we can take care of everybody else around us. I hope that makes sense. So as I'm kind of talking about this kind of stuff, I invite you to ask me any questions, or if you have something to share that's relatable, of course, type it in the chat. I'd love to hear from everybody. And so now we've talked about the forms of self-care. Like I said, if you're really a pampery kind of person and you love going to the spa, great. That's a great form of self-care. But can you really add that into your daily routine? So this is where we want to think about self-care as a habit. So like for me, my self-care comes a lot from my dietary lifestyle and how I fuel my body to help it run efficiently. So my self-care looks like taking my vitamins, taking my supplements that I know that help my body digest and help my body as a whole. Also things like drinking, the teas and the drinks that really help my body. Like I don't drink a lot of sugary drinks. So even that is a form of self-care. And so another thing that I do for self-care is I have a foam roller. And like I said, I do a lot of movement. I like moving my body, whether it's in an exercise form or in just a movement, because the way you move doesn't matter as long as you are getting movement in every day. So that's a self-care practice for me. And it's something that I can easily implement into my everydays. Another really interesting self-care that I've been sharing a lot about lately are my oracle cards. And these are the few oracle cards that I drew this morning. They were staring at me. It's like they wanted me to share. So my light keeps going away. So anyway, so when I find myself in a space of what do I need? Because self-care, that's what it's all about. It's about finding what you need and what your body needs to really feel calm and relaxed. So I turn to the cards when I have more questions than I do answers. So the first card I drew is from my affirmation deck from Health Coach Institute, and that's the training, health coach training school that I attend. And it says, I breathe in calmness and positivity. And on the back, it has a food for thought, which is really cool. And it says, how might your life change if you approach every situation from a place of peace and optimism? So the great thing about this is that it not only gives you an affirmation, but the food for thought, it's kind of like a journal prompt. You can, write about that. And that boosts gratitude. And when we boost gratitude in our brain is learning how to rewire so that we see the goodness in most situations. Sometimes it's hard for our brain to get out of the negative. So if we root in gratitude and we have things like this to help us, it's really, really helpful. So I breathe in calmness and positivity. That was the first one. And then the second one I drew is from a deck that my coach gave me. And it's the Universe Has Your Back cards. and it's a really pretty purple kind of, almost looks like a cave. And it says, "Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world." So that one to me kind of is like, when you throw a rock or a stone in the water and you create a ripple from the one rock. So the prayer meditation is that creating that ripple effect of just, woo, hit my printer, of peace in the world. So it's like my inner world, and then I can go out into my outer world. And then the last one I have is from an animal oracle deck, and it's Butterfly Spirit. And it says, "Transformation is beautiful." So that's a really beautiful card too. So yeah, these cards, I have a whole bunch of decks too, and these are just the ones that I'm drawn to right now. But they really help me when it comes to self-care, because like I said, sometimes we just have so many questions for ourselves, like, what do I need? Like, why am I feeling this way? What can I do to get out of this kind of funk? And these are really, really helpful for me. So if anybody is interested in cards, whether you are interested in buying some for yourself, or I've been drawing cards for my friends occasionally, like if I draw a card and I'm, thinking of somebody, or if anybody requests for me to draw a card, I'll draw a card for them too. So those are really fun and a simple self-care that can be implemented into your day, into your morning, into any time where you're feeling like, just stuck. So I'm curious now, I'm going to ask you, what's your go-to for self-care? Do you go to the beach and, just listen to the waves, breathe in the salt air? Do you go to the spa often? Do you get your hair done? Do you do, what do you do to really care for yourself in a way that, treats you with love? Because like I said, self-care is so individualized, and it's really about finding what you love to do and then implementing that into your daily life. So if you love to pamper yourself, because that's a hard one. I feel like going to the spa is a little bit more of a difficult self-care to implement, like in your daily. So how could you implement the feelings that you get from the spa into your daily routine? Say you take a shower every day. What could you put in the shower that would make it feel like you're at the spa? So these simple little things that we can adjust and think about to implement into our habits. Because what this series is all about is really dissecting our habits and seeing where I can implement more uplifting and more empowering and more happiness into my habits to create that calm inner body. And that's why I really wanted to start with self-care and self-love in this journey, because we have to start with ourselves first. First and foremost, you come first. Your body is your home. This is where you live. And the more we know our bodies and the more we know how to give ourselves what we need and treat ourselves with love, the more that we can treat the world and the ones that we love with love. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to share, because maybe your self-care technique could inspire someone else's self-care, and maybe it's something that they never thought of, or maybe you do something that is super unique that nobody would think of. So share. I'd love to hear what you do for self-care. And another thing when it comes to self-care is that there are no right or wrong answers. There are no right or wrong answers. If you Google self-care, there are tons and tons and tons of suggestions. And like I said, it can be anything from sitting and watching your favorite show, even if it's the stupid show but nobody likes, but you like, and just fueling that part of you. And so individualized. Trust me. Try not to think about what everybody else is doing for self-care, and think about you and what you need as self-care. Oh, What else was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, the other important part about self-care is, if you think about it, we're energy beings, right? So when it comes to self-care and really self-love too, like whatever we're doing to bring our energy up, our love up for ourselves, it's like we're plugging ourselves into a charger. So it's like when your phone dies, you plug it in, right? When your phone gets low on charge, you plug it in. You wouldn't let your phone die, so don't let your energy die. You know, we want our energy to be up and uplifting and, you know, full of light and love, because we are those beings, we are energy. So if you think about self-care as a way to charge your body, it kind of puts a little different spin on it. So what can you do to charge your body? And really getting in tune with yourself and really trying to understand and really listen. Because remember, last week, the tip was to listen to your body. So this week, I want you to take that learnings of learning how to listen and channel it into, how can I respond? You know, do I need to be by myself and, you know, maybe do some yoga or some stretching or some anything? Like, what do you need to boost yourself up? So we're listening to our bodies, and now we're learning how to provide for our bodies. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So if anybody has any questions on self-care, pop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you do for self-care. And just remember that it is all individualized. There are no right or wrong ways to treat yourself and to give yourself the care and charge that you need. So I invite you this weekend to start thinking a little bit more. We're diving in a little bit deeper every week. So now we've started listening. So now we're going to start giving our bodies what we need. So I hope that you found some value in this teaching today, and I will see you all next week. We're going to be talking about, what are we talking about next week? Stress. We're talking about stress next week, because stress is very, very important to a healthy gut. And again, that's why we start with everything that we can control for ourselves and not let the outside control our inside inner peace. So we have self-love, we have self-care, and next week we are talking about stress. So I hope everybody has a great Friday, and I will see you all next week. Bye.